Hi everyone and welcome. On this new video I'll show you the best tech site, which is ratings.com. They have an insane amount of products reviewed, honestly probably more than any other site I've ever seen, and their testing is actually pretty accurate and valid across the board. I don't think you have a place where there's computers stuff, computer related stuff such as monitor, mouse, keyboard, printers, and so on, entertainment, TV, soundbar, projectors, headphones, which is actually pretty useful if you care about proper gaming headphones as well, cameras, home such as vacuums, dehumidifier, air purifiers, and so on, kitchen, like shoes as well. I didn't know this was a thing. I think it's fairly new. Yeah. But besides this, I'll explain you how the site works. So basically, they create a survey and they ask what you want them to review. They also do it on their own most of the times for some products, such as for example, the newer Super Strike X2. Of course, they've bought it. It's like out of the question whether or not people want to see it. Surely everyone wants to see the review on that. So I'll now go and show you like one of the simplest reviews. So now you'll see first the top mouse picks, all the little recommendations they created, the popular mouse reviews, of course, with the G Pro X Superlight 2. This is a perfect example. It was first reviewed on the October 2023, and it's been modified till, well, basically this date. I mean, we're on February now, but there's no more need for this to be modified anymore. And they keep on updating the methodology test, like on, and you can see more here on Learn More. Some people complain about these values here. They are roughly indicative, but sometimes they might be misleading, so you might want to ignore these and just go straight. Besides, for the raw performance, it usually is pretty accurate. It's like the only one that actually matters the most. Everything else is just there for people that do not really know what they want, and they might use these, if you press here or just over on it, and then you go like this. You click on, of course, red is, let's say, bad, and green is good. These are the best mouses for this category and that category and so on. Now they have their own verdict. You can see the price on Amazon. You will see the changelog, which is very important to understand what they've done. And here, as you can see, they started on September 8th, 2023. They bought the product. It arrived on their lab. They started testing. They always do the early access review, and you need the insider access. There's a monthly fee you need to pay to access that. Otherwise, you just have to wait a few more days, like roughly a week, to then get the public review published and usable. Anyway, they also convert reviews to test bench, newer versions of the test bench, and especially this mouse is one of the best examples of how things can change. On this review here, the mouse was actually terrible. And same as for anyone else on YouTube, they also agreed on the same. The mouse was like, basically it's super light, but worse. Later on March 22, 2024, they retested the mouse with the newest firmware. They also introduced the 4000 Hz polling rate, which was what people were mostly also complaining about, that they only had 2000 Hz. Wow, Logitech is so far behind, but they actually had better results. This year's slightly worse sensor resiliency was improved later on, but this, as I said, is just an example. I will do a separate video for this mouse in specific. Anyway, they kept on updating. Update is like sections, parts of the review, other stuff, add a link to new mouses to compare them, converted the review to the newest test bench, and so on. So now there's also the check price. Of course, you can get the mouse on different versions. Usually the link, if it's blue like this, it means there's actually a link valid for Amazon or any other site that they want you to go to. Magenta, apparently, there's nothing. Anyway, they do so these are the mouse comparison here and the test result. This is how they test things. Honestly, it's a pretty accurate and valid way to test it. It's like more standardized and more, like real world test. This is a screenshot I added later. I had to explain it. So they measure the click latency by using a USB protocol analyzer and express the result as an average of 205 clicks, which is a lot. And they only use the expected connectivity result to determine the mouse click latency score. So the type of shell, the shape in 3D, build quality, this one is also not so important. I mean, it's just like an evaluation, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter. Weight, of course, in 9.1, because to be fair, 60 grams, you could say that in 2025, 2026, 2024 as well, it's not a great value to have lowest at 57.5 grams, but it actually is pretty good. It doesn't really matter, like, honestly. It will not make you better at the game having a lower mouse, of course, in a way, yes, but you also need practice for it. And they also give you always a second path to go for. So, for example, in this case, Ninjutsu Sora V2, although it has slightly less consistent sensor accuracy. So the hand size recommendation, this is purely, I mean, it actually works. It does make sense, but you still have to find your own proper grip, because like not all the palm grips are the same, let's say. Not all the claw grips are the same. Not all the fingertip grips are the same. So you will have to find yours. These are only recommendations. You can follow these, but at the same time, you can still experiment. You can possibly miss some shots, which is why you would ideally always want an SRAV as close to 0 as possible. Sensor latency, this is still one of the best we've had for like ages. Before it was terrible, as I said, but after the updates on 2024, it massively improved, and the results are actually insane. 9.5 milliseconds of delay to start movement, delay at half is 1.7, and delay at the end is 0.7. Of course, if you go down and you go here to 4000 hertz, you get better results. Besides, the start movement is slightly slower, but the half movement and the end movement. So the total latency, if you do the math just by adding all three values together, you get a better end result here. And you also get basically double of the battery life by switching at 4000 hertz and less usage on the CPU, which is just perfect. So this is all the things you can only possibly know by using a site like this that gives you all the stuff you want to know. If you want to min-max, if you care about that, yes. So the mouse wheel type, the noise, the configuration software, they actually give you all the stuff and tell you if it works on other operative systems as well. Mouse compatibility, yeah, as you can see here, macOS, full compatibilities. Again, the retailers, the newsletters, this is for other stuff, recommended articles, and the main discussion, where you can just leave your comments, just log in and write down what you want. So yeah, why do I recommend this site? This is the best site ever for TAC. Honestly, they have everything. You have compare 3D compare as well. You can just compare the shapes. You can also do it on Elo shapes, but at the same time, you can do it here. And there's a lot of stuff they tested. As far as I know, and when they texted me back, when I offered them to give them something to review, they just said they do not accept sponsorships nor things shipped from people. So they just get the same experience that us customers get. So they do not get any cherry-picked items from manufacturers. So the reviews are as close as reality as possible. And to show you a little difference with another thing, here is the review of the Endgame Gear OP1AK from Tech Power. Let's just go here and look at it again. So the AK V1 and V2, they're literally the same. So we'll just scroll down over to the click latency. We have an expected connection and a wired connection. So the actual connection is 0.6 milliseconds, whereas this one, if you go here to sensor and performance, besides their CPI deviation. I don't know how is the value so stable. Like it just cannot be. Like generally cannot be that stable. But anyway, doesn't matter. Let's say it was true anyway. Here we got this little thing. So we got the Superlight G Pro X Superlight at 1.7. It's very generous. Like this is a very low value for that mouse, to be fair. Superlight 2 at 0.9. This is also very generous. Some of these mouses, they cannot nearly get close to 0.1 milliseconds, but it's fine. This mouse apparently, the OP1AK, gets to safe with GX safe mode and the other mode off, which was the SPDT, something like that, at 0.1, and then on the GX speed mode, it gets to minus 1.3 milliseconds. So as you know, time goes forward until now. I don't know, in February 1st, 2026, that I know of, there's nothing that can rewind time. So this would mean that when I click, I just track back the enemy. Of course, it's 1.3 milliseconds, but maybe with better mouses with the V2 version, we'll get, I don't know, 5 milliseconds, minus 5 milliseconds, and I could just track back. But yeah, besides that, although here they say to the measured click latency of 0.1, we thus arrive at a negative value of 1.3, which is of course is not, and like whatever they say, but like I don't know how this makes sense, and I don't know how you can trust a testing like this when the result of something that should just go forward, it should always be a positive value, goes negative. So yeah, this is why I use ratings.com.